Hello everybody, just about ready to get started. So, I'm not sure how long we'll stream today. I'm feeling kind of under the weather, honestly. But I figured, since I'm not up to doing more of a traditional RPG at the moment, what I'm gonna do is just showcase what I've been working on a little bit since yesterday. Yeah, I just feel kind of achy and weird, so hopefully it goes away after a day or two. But let's talk a little bit. I guess I could pop up notes. I'm actually not even sure if I have notes for this. We'll find out in a second. Oh, those are the logs. Those are not notes. I do have some log notes. Nice. So I'm doing a work in progress change for 1.18. So my goal is to make I'd say movement a bit more dynamic with Axe Armor. I think the problem with the boost and why I think it needs to be changed. I don't like that you basically have infinite flight without relics. It's been bothering me for a couple patches, but I think in order to implement it, I need to make changes in a few different rooms to make it a bit more fair for the other people. I'm gonna try some changes to go according to the requests of one of the testers. So we're going to experiment with allowing the user to jump cancel out of face plant. Normally, if you face plant, it's a pretty hard commit. I still want to have some commitment to it, so I don't want you to just instantly be able to jump out of it. There's going to be at least a second and a half that you have to be face planting before you can jump. But one thing that I think is okay, and I don't think really impacts too much, but it's just kind of a quality of life, I'm allowing you to gravity jump out of the glide. So hopefully with those changes, it should feel a little easier to control him, but still maintain what makes him unique. Now, the downside to getting rid of infinite boost is that there's no longer a death skip. So basically that's going to be my focus for the first half hour to see how it feels to do this with just Lycanthrope. Hello, Calvisham. One thing I've also just noticed in general, I think I gotta hit the weapon damage again. So I'm retuning the scaling so that way, if you do get something stupid like double Varda, it's not as good. I'm kind of tired of the double Varda, chat. I'll be real with you. If I could, I would ban Varda. It's very tempting to just have that item delete when you equip it. But to accommodate that, I'm removing more of the flat damage scaling and making it more dependent on the weapon strength and character strength. So it's not as impactful to your damage early, but when you get to like Dracula, the multi-hit weapon should be generally weaker. As a very small compensation, I'm making spells slightly more reactive to your weapon in. We're gonna see where it goes from there. So the relics give, I think, 1% more damage and 2% if it's fire bat. Not anything too extreme. I would say the most extreme thing would be the base equipment doing, or base weapon in being 6% stronger generally on the spells. But again, this is... It's kind of just shifting damage around a little bit. Feels weird to know most of the items from graphics because they're all in Vampire Survivors. That is true. Listen into the amazing Castlevania Adventure Rebirth OST. What a good soundtrack. So anyway, I'm just going to experiment a little bit with the movement, and in order to do that, specifically, I want to make sure you could still do Death Skip with Lycanthrope, so it's going to take a lot of adjusting. So I've made the jump before in private testing, but I haven't done it without all relics, so I want to see if I need to tweak anything, or if it's good as is. The only way to do that is to generate a seed. I'm going to go ahead and save my changelog here. So let's go ahead and pause the game. Or game music, I mean. Sorry, Adventure Rebirth OST, we'll pause you. I have a seed generating in the background. I believe it is good to go. Indeed it is. So we're going to try a Lycanthrope seed. Oh, I don't have it in tournament mode. I don't know if that matters. I'm going to leave it as is for now. We'll put that on the question mark list. I don't think it impacts what I'm going to test, but it should be fine. Yeah, normally normally it would just hide the items, but as of like more recent updates, it does do other things like remove statue and things of that nature. Not sure how I feel about that still. Anyway, chat, let me make the update here, and then we'll go ahead and boot up the game. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Welcome, Murphy. What was this? And welcome, Calvisham. Yeah, as I said before, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so we'll see how long this particular session goes. But I wanted to try something since Calvisham specifically did request one of these changes. I feel like that motivates me to do something. We don't get many Calvisham requests. Let's go ahead and boot it up and I guess hop into Mayhem, which I think has the wrong patch version because it was very impromptu. Yeah, so ignore that at the bottom. It's incorrect. I don't feel like resetting it. We've committed too hard. I don't know if I'm using the latest build. 1 second. No, I'm not. I have to reboot. Okay. I want to try something, but didn't test this particular change. So let's see how this change goes, and we'll go forward from here. A rebuild. Good. Move it here. Launch. So the change itself is not very big in terms of code. It's just fine-tuning it is going to take some time. And the only way to really do that is I have to get a different seed type. Is I either have all relics, which isn't a good test, or it's guarded OG, which is not a good test. So we gotta restart here. And as tempting as it is to skip the intro, I cannot do that. But I will save state at some point, since I don't want to have to replay the intro over and over and over again. Both the PlayStation intro and the prologue, so say goodbye to that for now. Naming the save states has been a lifesaver. Essentially, at some point, I need to go to each of the locations I want to improve the faceplant, but we'll take it slow. Headphones need charging. Sorry to hear that, Murphy. I don't even remember what that file was. These I remember. I tested with these. Delete it. Gonna say Murphy's on the loose, apparently. Roaming the hallways. Yeah, I guess we'll go... That feels appropriate. When you're hungry, you're hungry? Oh man, I haven't played the prologue in so long. I just want to make sure I grab that heart, just specifically. It looks a little weird. I could probably do it a bit cleaner, but it's fine. I think that's enough. One, two, pick up. He's a little far from me. I don't know if I'll get the damage stack correctly. Oh no, I did. Come on. Why do I doubt myself, chat? It's fine. Just easy prologue. My movement is not clean, but yeah, the damage stacks, they're very consistent for people that have doubts. I miss like 1 in 10 at most. So good odds. Oh, I gotta actually turn on Axe Armor. That would probably help. So we'll pause so it refreshes it. What indeed? Damage. I don't need the item. Like, listen, we're not wasting our time on that item. So we're gonna make a save state here. And this is gonna be real awkward with just wolf relics. Let's take a look. Damage is about the same. Shaman Shield makes her damage a bit more fair, but I mean, obviously it's very strong. I mean, without it, it's 38. So we'll see. Maybe I'll nerf Shield Raw damage slightly, but it's fine. Single-handed weapon, or excuse me, not single-handed. ×1 hits is not currently nerfed, so whatever it is the same. It's just the multi-hit are slightly weaker. So I'm kind of curious. I want to showcase something. Can I do that without this? Yeah, I can. Although, I'm not getting the clip that I'm looking for. Let me make sure I didn't accidentally disable that. So there's proof of the jump cancel out of the faceplate, if nothing else. Do something like this. One thing I just want to make sure, I'm gonna reset. Okay, good. That's what I'm looking for. I want to make sure you can't get infinite horizontal momentum with the jump cancels. That would make me so sad. So I want to get rid of infinite boost. But you can extend it diagonally quite a bit. If you're willing to put in the time. You get like a little bit of a boost if you let go of the directions. It's not bad. Anyway, let's reset again. So I'm not getting the clip that I'm expecting here. See how it's like forcing me out? Yeah, something about it is a bit weird. Like, that looked okay. I'm just curious why that isn't working there. Maybe because I tied something by accident to Form of Mist? That's all I can think of. Maybe I tied something to Form of Mist by accident. But, like, I think it's still possible to do this. It's just hard. Ooh, actually, I didn't have enough momentum. Oh, I'm holding jump. I'm being dumb. So it's, like, possible. It's just hard. Yeah, now with the jump cancel, that actually makes that kind of hard. Could just make it also gravity jump only to get out of faceplant. Maybe that's fine. It would eliminate that issue, because death skip with the jump cancel is kind of difficult. Yeah, because then that'll happen. So I could make it so that you clip through this staircase. I was kind of thinking about it, because you could destroy it up to this point. No, I'm not looking for that. But weirdly, my other change doesn't seem to be active here. Like, it kind of goes... You can see I could go higher than I normally can, but it's not working, like, right here for some reason. Or if I made it too restrictive. Give me one moment as I look at the code. So my intent is that I should be able to clip into this wall a little bit. So let me save this one so that I can reload this. We're going to call this... Lycanthrope. Death skip. So that way I could come back to it. But what I want to do... Actually, let me make sure I'm at full MP, because that would annoy me having to wait each time. Yes, I'm going to replace it. So let's load the other file, because I'm just curious if maybe I just tied it to a wrong relic or something. Let's load this one. So this is after death has been killed. Yeah, see, I'm able to do the clip that I'm looking for here. So something must be tied to Form of Mist that I'm not intending to get. Interesting. Love the blood cloak on us, though. Okay. Actually, what is this save state? Oh, this is a misgate check. Let me make a save here. I want to override this one, so that way I have more save states to play with. We'll call this reverse outer wall. So what I want to do is instead load up the depth skip as is and save it here, so that way I could just go to this one faster. So you can see, like, if I boost, it kind of works. Like, the little ledge there is always going to be a problem if you're too high up. But making it with, like, very limited MP, I think I have 45 from, like, with the equivalency of levels. But even then, I don't come really close to using it. Wrong one. You can see, like, if I do that, like, I could get across pretty quickly without using a lot of MP. So Batmaster should be fine, and those kinds of seeds. And so you can see I could just hold the button down and I still got it. It does act a bit weird near the walls, though. I'm gonna have to fine-tune the detection here. You might have it that if you're, like, literally at 0, that it turns off something. But anyway. Yeah, there's just something about if you're too high up, I think it gets confused where you are for some reason. As you can see, if I jump normally, it transitions pretty well, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna do some... Oh, this... Oh, maybe I just ran out of MP. I'm like, does this one not have gravity jump? It does, okay. I just don't have a lot of MP, I guess that's fair. So I think what I'll do, maybe faceplant can only be escapable with the gravity jump input versus regular jump. That way, if I'm doing something like this, it doesn't interfere. Yeah, I think I want to do it that way. That way this movement isn't interfered with. Because if I hold jump here, I don't really want to pop out of jump most of the time. Whereas if I'm going through and holding up jump, I would kind of just want it to cancel my momentum almost instantly. I guess that's fair. Anyway, let's go back to this. So, why can I not go through that is the question. Take a look. Fortunately, I called it depth skip in the code, so it's very easy for me to find. So, is not Axe Armor missed flight? That's my only condition. Why did this not trigger? Find out together, chat. Yeah, I mean, that should work, because that only triggers when you press R1, which I'm not pressing. So if I'm pressing R1, this normally happens, and I move kind of slow. This one should have just worked as is. Could be how I'm declaring it. Oh, I think I see what the issue is. Simple change. So I think it is tied to something. So I want to make sure that you don't have to hold up necessarily for it to work. I'm going to make one change here. Ooh, it did not like me making a build. Okay, so let's try again. I think I'm going to force it to always be true and see how that feels. Because I think what's happening is I'm not holding up. I think that's the difference between when I was making those two tests. So I want this to work regardless if you're holding up. I just want to clip through that like so intensely. It's like almost not even funny. We're going to go ahead and launch Mayhem, and we're just going to try again. Yeah, see how I'm able to go up there when I'm looking to have it trigger? Okay, so I got to do one more check. That's fair. We're going to leave it to just always on for now, and I want to see if that has any unintended side effects. If it doesn't, I'm just going to leave it as is, because it's less for me to check. And would technically be better on performance if I don't have to check anything else. We're getting there. But yeah, I'm going to let you clip into that ceiling a little bit. We'll see how we feel about it. Is this me pretty high up there? It's kind of interesting. It's like, no. Right, chat? It's like, no. You must fall down here. Look at that force. It's kind of funny. I think I can prevent it from zipping me. You can see as soon as it turns off, it's like, get out of here. Huh, that still doesn't let me do that. Why is that not working? I can jump through this. I did get rejected. I actually almost made that jump with like no momentum, which to me was very silly. I need to get like a lot of momentum here. No. Yeah, see, the problem is like I'm not clipping through this, and I need to clip through this. Why am I not clipping through this? Because the moment you can clip through that portion of the wall, problem solved, but it's being very finicky with me for some reason. So I'm gonna do a little check. I'm gonna jump up here. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna log where this location is and see if maybe one of my coordinates is off. Because to me, I don't understand why I'm not clipping right now, because I'm like, I turned everything to on. There's no checks. It should just work. The only thing I could think of is maybe my coordinates are not quite correct. I'm gonna reboot one more time. So coordinate is, I'm at position 194, Y is 65. So I have a check to say if greater than... Oh. Well, that would explain it. Y is 65. I need to actually make that higher. Okay, so one of the coordinates was off. X is 194 is accurate. So the other condition is true, so that should be fine. Maybe now it'll stop being finicky with me. Screen is less than 135, which it should be. If you go upwards, the Y coordinate approaches 0. So this should just work. The only other thing I could think of is I can try to do one additional thing for this, for the miss gates. That way you don't see that like intense zipping. It was... Oh, that's fine. I don't need that for now. Let's just rebuild, see if that fixes it. Again, I just want to see myself clip through that ceiling portion, and then I can begin my proper tests. Because I might not have to adjust too much else in order for you to get that. It's going to give slightly more base plant time in the air, like very small amounts, like just enough to get you to get there. But I need to be able to go through that ceiling, because I don't want to overcompensate. As I said before, I'm not interested in infinite boost. Let's go from here. Why can I not do this? So confused, chat. Oh, I got stuck in dimensions. I mean, I can see that I'm very clearly able to clip into here. Something is still wrong with the left-right, maybe. I don't want to turn it on always. I want it to be fairly accurate, but I'm a little confused why it's fighting me so much. Let's move this condition here and see if this resolves it. We're gonna find out together, chat. Is it as simple as just order of operations? All I want to see myself do is go through that wall. That's all I care about, chat. We're gonna just reposition it. So the X coordinate looks correct. The Y coordinate is correct. I definitely have the right room. So I've eliminated basically everything at this point, so I just wanted to cooperate with me so I could continue with my tests. We also have the most recent build, which is good. Alright, please clip. I'm still not clipping. Madness, chat. Is it possible? I'm just thinking. Is it possible this check is actually not good enough? Try one thing, chat. Maybe it is... Still needs to go higher. The ceiling clip is not good enough on its own. I have to be able to go left and right through the wall. Oh, it failed. Why did it fail? Oh, because I have an else. Didn't like that. I like when I make a build, I can hear the game stutter. Come on, game, it's fine. Just make it a build, it's fine. No big deal. Alright. I'm gonna try this and see if this resolves the issue. If not, I'll have to separate it out a bit more. Because the only thing I could think of if it's checking too many checks. I'm just moving it higher and higher until it lets me go in. It's still not letting me go in. That looked okay. But see how it's like zipping me? I don't want to see it zip me. I should be able to just do that as is. So, like, I'm looking for that behavior, but without going into the ceiling. So I'm just kind of curious from a boost standpoint. Like, that actually looked okay there, surprisingly.
This one is special.
Yeah, like, with the relics, it's behaving as expected. Like, I want to be able to do that consistently. Or if I got super speed, you know, that also works. So, like, that's definitely easier with relics. It's just the non-relic check is being really finicky for some reason. I don't know what it's checking. There must be one other check that I'm not thinking about. So you saw before, that was pretty smooth flight all the way through with the relics. It's just the non-relic check is not working, which unfortunately is the only thing I'm interested in testing. Like, I could do it with relics all day long. I've already tested. Let me think. Okay. Let's put this here. Then I need to see why it's not doing certain checks. Oh, you okay there, game? I didn't do anything yet. I didn't even make a build. It was just being annoyed at me, I guess. Oh, okay, that would explain it. Yeah, I have one more safety check. Do I want to set another flag for this or not? Come on, SotN. I'm not doing anything. Stop that. Bad SotN. Is it X acting so weird. I'm not doing anything now. It made more sense when I was doing a build. I'm just like reading the code and making a change. SotN, please. I'm gonna have to quiet you, SotN. I can't have you skipping audio. Go back to the other audio briefly. So the issue I think before is that I do a safety check to not allow you to clip through if you don't have certain relics. So I need to turn that check off, but only conditionally. So I guess I'm just gonna call this... I'm gonna tentatively call it depth skip, because that's the only one that I'm applying it to. I might rename it later. So as long as I just add or death skip, it should just work. Because I think that's what's happening there. I don't have Form of Mist, so it's not enabling the clips that I need, which clearly I need that to happen. And then we'll free Axe Armor from that horrible ceiling. Then from there we can, you know, narrow it back down, but for the time being, I need at least the ability to clip slightly. Yeah, so as long as it's on and this, it should be fine. Enable clip direction works regardless, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay. Let's see if this resolves it. I just want to see myself go through the ceiling. You know, just some casual breaking in the game, it's fun. Sorry, Rebirth soundtrack. Okay, this should work, since now I've eliminated basically all checks. The only one I'm doing is a very specific coordinate check. And then from here, I can finally decide if I need to buff the movement speed in the air. Which, to be fair, wolf relics do improve the faceplant speed. So they already do that, I just might need to make it more extreme in order to make this check possible. Let's see, chat. Moment of truth. Can I finally go through that ceiling? Close this. Yes. Oh, that was so annoying. How hard that was for no reason. Ooh, why was my max speed so bad? Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. Let me think. Oh, interesting. I was able to clip into this. I guess because I don't have a lower bound check. Interesting. I mean, I should probably not allow the player to do that, but that's not a big deal. Question is... No, it just doesn't last long enough. So even with this the right speed boost, without worrying about ceiling bonking, it's just not enough. Yeah, see that? I like barely made it. Alright, I think that's about as optimal as I could have gotten it, and it's still not good enough. So what would the alternative be? Yeah, look at that. That's nowhere near enough. Can't zip through the ceiling anymore, right? Like it's gonna stop me. Okay, it does stop me at least. Well, sort of. Alright, so there has to be one more safety check, I think, right here. Something about that little spot. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slightly lower the ceiling check. Since I don't need it to be that aggressively tall. That should fix that issue. How do we make it more consistent? We'll say greater than 67. Should be good enough for a check. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. This should stop me from walking through stairs, but that doesn't solve the ultimate problem. How do I get the right angle for it? Wow, SotN's really behaving weirdly today with the audio. I've had that happen before, and I had to just make another copy of BizHawk. Like, is something wrong with BizHawk specifically? I don't know what caused it to happen, but once it starts happening, it tends to not stop very often. Because it's not like a processing issue. I'm using like 20% of my CPU and GPU total, even with the stream. It's not an issue there, just BizHawk being BizHawk. Would allow... Is just allowing one refresh good enough? Just thinking about it. Like, if I were to, I don't know, hypothetically do this, but actually get the jump. Yeah, that's also the tricky part, is getting the jump here without bonking. Because I don't want to just enable controls. I do actually want it to be somewhat skill-based. Unfortunately, I hit square there when I didn't want to. Fast. Yeah, I think as is, it's not going to work. Indeed, says Death. Let me think about this. So let's remove jump from the faceplant jump, because that's making that jump much harder than it normally is. So with that combined, I think I need that to be gravity jump. If you hit up and jump, it'll cancel out. And as long as I hit up with that, then I can go through my normal checks here, and that'll make that jump feel much easier. Because otherwise, if you cancel your jump, you lose control of the character, since it'll suck you into the cutscene, and that kind of invalidates the whole purpose of doing it. So just double checking. Once I do that, that jump will be easier. But I think the problem is, like, do I offer more horizontal time in general? Would that fix it? Let's experiment with that and see how we feel about it. I called it faceplant duration. I'll find it eventually. I know it's here somewhere. Oh, it might be a misduration, actually. I should rename that to faceplant duration, since that was the first thing I thought of. Yeah. I think if this is increased, it should be good. Go back to listening to some music. So I'm just thinking out loud. If I increase the base time, And that should be what I needed to do. There are so many checks. Oh, it resets the miss boost duration here. Yes, let me just double it. See how I feel about that. If I double it, how does that feel? Okay. Let's reboot, see how this goes. I think we're getting closer. I don't mind pumping up the initial use of Faceplant without Relic, but I also want to make sure that the relics still feel good. Without anything, I'm able to zip through here. Again, you'll catch on that platform, but that's only really ever going to apply if you're using the bat to fly. I'm okay with. So that seems okay. How about this? How long can I Faceplant now? That is a very long time. I think Jack could agree. Might be a little too much. Wow, look at that. Very interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that down slightly for sure. That is too long. But out of curiosity, we'll trim it down a little bit more. But let's see how it feels with just this. Let's go for like a non-optimal setup. We'll just do this. Ah, that looked good enough. So we just gotta trim it. That's all we gotta do. We gotta also check for ceilings a little better there. I think that's my problem. But if I just do like this, yeah, that is much easier. I'm not even holding up for like optimal. So if I hold up, I actually make it up there. That's funny. Yeah, that is okay. That's pretty easy. So we're gonna have to make it harder, chat. So it was 10 before. What if I put it at 15? So originally it was 10. We boosted to 20. Let's try 15 and see if that's good enough. I want to be able to get it without necessarily holding up on the controller. I'll have everything else scale appropriately. That should make Power Mist actually feel super good because I'm going to make it scale based off of the duration. Because 10 is really close, so it wouldn't surprise me if the magic number is like 13 or 14. Having just like a little bit more leniency with like 15 is probably okay. I just want to make sure that, you know, you could still potentially do the horizontal jumps, but I'm going to force you to hit the ground more without the Mist Relic. I don't want you just like perma-flighting through, because I think that made the game a little too easy. So I at least want to make you land every other room if you don't have a flight relic. And I think that'll be a step in the right direction. That way there are moments where you're actually targetable, question mark, or it burns more MP. You have to land. So let's try. Let's see how long the flight is. It's still pretty long. I think Chad would agree. That's still pretty long. So let's go for non-optimal setup, no momentum, just holding. That still looked like too much time. I mean, like, I wasn't even holding up. That's crazy. Alright, we gotta nerf it more. Maybe it's even lower than 15. Like, I should be running out at least by the time I start to land. So let's try 13 and see how we feel about this. I'm just making sure, like, this one definitely has no other... Oh, I can't pause because I did the death skip. So yeah, we're just gonna make it a little more consistent here. As I said before, the whole goal is to get rid of infinite boost. That is one of the things that's been bothering me. Then we could clean up jumps. And then we could do other sorts of things. So if this is a more momentum-focused patch, I don't want to introduce any other kind of crazy things with it. I want to keep it mostly simple. So no, like, new spells or stuff like that. Just new ways to use the momentum, maybe. And that's about it. Alright, so how long is flight now? Still pretty long. That's still good. So now my curiosity is, what is keeping me in the air for so long? Because I feel like I really reduced how much time that I'm floating around, and I'm like nowhere near close to hitting the ground. I'm just looking to see if I, you know, just making sure I didn't put a test value in where it shouldn't go, because that seemed like ridiculous. No, that's what it's listed as. Well, I will shorten it again. Again, maybe it was closer than I thought. So we're put it to 12. I mean, again, I'm surprised that it was like that close already to being good. So we've definitely trimmed out unnecessary speed up time. So we're only getting about 20% more miss time, and that seems to have made a huge difference. So let's try it again. Yeah, I was just surprised we were hovering for that long, but, you know, again, I want a little bit of airtime when you faceplant, and now being able to jump cancel out of it does open up for more interesting movement options. It will help, I think, with the staircase in particular, where you just need to go vertical. That has been a problem, that reverse chapel climb. Alright, so now we're doing barely an increase over the normal amount. And that seems so much shorter. I think chat would agree. That seemed way shorter. Is that enough time? Right here. Just making sure the game resets my momentum. Wait, what? How is that? Okay, well that is like completely different result. That wasn't even a big number change. I wonder if something was hard-coded somewhere and I just deleted it just now. Because that seems like nowhere near long enough. I'm sure chat would agree. I'm not sure how we got such a big difference between those two. So let me go back up slightly and see if this fixes it. Yeah, that seems like almost half of the duration of the other one, but I only changed it by like ±2. Very weird. Try again. I mean, it's possible the save state was remembering something. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that drastic of a difference with only ±2, because we did a difference between 15 and 20, and I did not notice a difference. And we did a difference between 12 and 15, and suddenly it was just completely different. So I'm gonna put it back to 15 and see how it goes. Again, we're just looking for like the bare minimum amount of flight here. So that did seem a little longer, but not by much. Oh, was I still jump canceling out of the faceplant? I wasn't. Okay, I was hitting gravity jump. I think that's what was happening. Yeah, see there, I'm able to get out of it. Hello, Snow. Hope you're doing well. Probably something like this. No. I wonder Why it's so different? Oops, I zipped into the ceiling. Huh. Weird. I hate clipping the stairs. It kills your momentum. You know, had I not jump canceled that, I think that would have actually made it. But obviously this is too difficult to do consistently. We gotta touch it up a little more. Yeah, like there I made it. So like a really optimal jump will make it currently, but that's it's a little too demanding on the player. Like you can do it, but let's not force the player to do that. It feels kind of awkward. Juggling a lot of problems. Sorry to hear that, Snow. Your weekend goes a little better. So it might force you to need momentum here. Again, that clip onto the stairs is the worst feeling. Do something like this. And get the jump that I needed. Face planted too early. Had I been holding boost there, that also would have made it. So I think right now I just need a very small difference. So what I'm gonna do... Instead of doing it... No, that should be fine. Let's put it back up to 20, since maybe something was, you know, cached in the memory because I was doing save states. I mean, clearly, like, that wasn't enough distance. That's why I was confused before. Like, doubling the distance should have been fairly significant, but I didn't notice it. Let's set both of them to 20 and try again. As I said before, maybe it remembered the old value by accident. So as long as I do a jump and then land, it should reset it. What have I been playing lately? Radiant Historia, Suikoden. That's about it. We're doing a little bit of SotN at the moment. I'm trying to fine-tune one of the jump mechanics, and we almost have it. I mean, again, I'll do some safety checks off stream so you don't clip into the ceiling, but just want to make sure that initial momentum feels good. Now, that seemed like a significant amount of boost time, so if I just do this... Okay, see, now it's behaving where I thought it was gonna go. Okay, that is much easier. I think Chad would agree. This is looking a lot more consistent. Even if you fall there, you still got it. Okay. I think I'm okay with where it is, Chad. I think we've seen it. It looked like it worked. I mean, you can't do it in reverse. This is too hard to make that jump. But from here, this looks fine. I could technically trim it just a little more. I'll decide. But this is good enough, I would say, for continuing the seed. Like, if I just want to do this. It's like, well, I guess it's just barely lenient. So maybe that's okay. So now we can get rid of infinite boost. So it is much stronger by default. This little hop out of it. Of the dead silence of nothing appearing here. You know what? I'm not even gonna take the relic. It's just that kind of day, chat. You know, don't even need it. It's fine. So what I want to see. Make another save state. I have the one where I'm just pre-death. Now this is the one that I need to nerf. I don't think I like people making this check with the jumps. I don't mind it with Leapstone, but I think this needs to go for health of the game. I think it just eliminates too many choices in the routing. I thought it was kind of cool at first, and then I'm like, I'm okay with it with Leapstone to make that kind of check. But literally, there's no reason currently to come back to the left side. So I don't mind getting things out of sequence, but literally never coming back to the left is kind of silly. So let's name this Lab, I guess. is technically Alchemy Lab. So like currently if I jump up, I can usually make this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna nerf the jump height very slightly so that you cannot make this jump anymore. Where is this? Because again, I wanna make it a bit more competitive. So skipping all the checks is not the best. Then we're gonna try Gaibon and see if I can make Gaibon. I think with this much flight, I can still do the Gaibon skip though. That is kind of the downside. Oh, not looking for this. Where is my leapstone check for height? I think I do a check on jump boost max. Yeah, okay, that's going to be a bit more tricky to update than I thought. So let's not worry about that right now then. I have it dependent on how many jumps you have left, but I need to fine-tune it. I think I need 2 different formulas, so I have to think about it a little bit. So the question is, should I be able to skip it? Well, I guess even if I shorten the height, you should still be able to make that. That'll be a problem. But right now, it would be... First jump would be... 5... Yeah, I think it goes 5, 4, 3. I think what I can do is make it 4, 3 beginning versus actually no, that would still be too much height. Just thinking about it. Because I do like them feeling a little different from each other. Let's do this check and then I'll think about how I want to rescale that. Oh yeah, that's right, I have Shield Rod. I was wondering why they died so quickly at first. Okay. Let's see, how hard is it to do this check? We'll call this one, I'll need the save state as well. Call this one Gaibon. Actually, before I save, what's my MP? Let's restore to full MP, that way I make the check. So I have a realistic expectation of my MP at the time of reaching here. I did that and killed basically nothing to get here. So, Gaibon. Oh, I'm still getting the gravity jump thing. Okay, let's not do that. Oh, yeah, I can still make that. That's where I'm like, oh, if only I could just nerf it slightly. I guess... So this check is definitely much... It's harder to do. It's not as guaranteed. If I just do it from fresh, it's not even remotely close to possible. So, like, with a really good jump, you could do it. Unless I just fall off the edge and don't get jumped. That's so sad. So I think if you do the run start here, it still works. Yeah, if you do the run start there, it's still possible. Of course I get that. That I don't know if I could get rid of, to be honest. That might be too hard. So it might not be possible to eliminate that one, but we can at least force you to go back for alchemy. Yeah, that seems really easy still. Even with the nerf boost, I'm able to make it. But it is less free, so it isn't just like you go back here and do it, which was what was happening kind of before. So I'll call that half solved. So it's trickier to do the skip, so you're more likely to lose time if you fail. I think that's fair. Anything that adds skill expression back in, I think is good enough. Yeah, so there I used faceplant and the jump cancel to go up to that ledge. I haven't really thought about where I would really want to use the new tech, but, you know, it could be useful. It's kind of like when you could do the slow dash, like how I'm doing here. Like, sometimes it's useful. I was doing 200 something. Oh, Shield Rod, you're so silly right now. I'll read the chat, my code is in the way. It's nice to have options. Oh, sorry, speaking of which, I didn't see the other portion of the chat because I had the code screen up. Playing Kenna Bridge of Spirits, have I played it? I have no idea what that is. I'll be honest with you. If you say it's a game that's been released in the past 3 years, I would not be surprised. I have not been following game news at all, so the answer is probably no. I think the only, like, new game, quote-unquote, I purchased were Yakuza games. Everything else is from several years ago or more at this point. I'm just messing around with a couple things here. A little bit of a boost there. Again, I don't know if it'll be super helpful. Maybe if I'm... Yeah, see, I would need... Well, I do have bat. I guess I could... Yeah, I guess I could do that to get out of the bat slightly faster. Maybe that's worth it? I think without gravity jump, it's not as good, for sure. With gravity boots, it actually makes gravity boots a lot better as an item, which I'm okay with. Because normally it just kind of gets overshadowed all the time, but having an excuse to use it is kind of nice. Yeah, so this is one of the movements I want to see from the racers. Whenever they realize they bonk something, I want to see them just press the jump button a little earlier. Save those fractions of seconds. So I think overall, it's closer to how I intended it. Faceplant is still a little long. With... I guess what I could do to make it more likely that you can't do the skip, I could make the Wolf Relics extend in this boost time as like the final lever. So you would have to have all three to make it. It wouldn't be a bad idea, because that would eliminate my concern over being able to make it or not. And as I saw before, I was like just barely making Gaibon, so if I remove 3 ticks, maybe that's good enough. Now I'm curious, chat. Because right now we saw 15 or so was the magic number. We do... We'll start with the... We'll finish the wolf stuff first, I guess. Let me think. It was missed boost duration. So, getting missed is still the biggest adder to it. I just need to see how we can control it so it's more normalized without relics. So 20 might be too high. I could have... Let's see. Maybe every wolf relic adds 3. Because that would make the Gaibon skip, I think, not possible anymore. Because it puts it back almost to the normal value. this. If they has Soul of Wolf. Ooh, not that. They had Biswell. That way, if it's 10 by default, each one adds 3. Maybe that's the balance I'm looking for, so it shouldn't be possible. Because you definitely will not have enough momentum. So I'm okay with them making that skip, I guess, with Lycanthrope. So this would make it so normal no relic can't make that skip, which I think is fair. So I'm gonna close this so I don't hear the skipping music. And I just need, I guess, Power of Wolf. Yeah, I guess that would kind of work. So we'll test it with the trim, how tight that is. And then that will remove the infinite flight from no relics, which is good because it puts it back to the normal value. And normal value without momentum or the speed boost is not good enough, which I think is totally fair. But with Lycanthrope, with all 3 Wolf Relics, maybe it's okay to have. Just, I think regular Alucard / regular run should not be able to make that decision. Let's go back and open the save where we were doing Guy Bonds. Load it. Yeah, so that's still pretty easy to do, even with the trim duration. And I barely even noticed it, to be honest. We'll try one more time just to make sure it isn't caching something. Oh, I, like, bonked it barely. So I'm definitely able to do it as long as I don't bonk. Try one more time. Yeah, that's pretty easy. That is pretty easy. I mean, you have to know about it, but once you know about it, it is not hard to do. Oh, and look at that. I did the jump correction. So yeah, if you do... So I guess if you do mess up horizontally, the ability to jump out of the faceplant means you can correct a bad launch. So I guess that kind of eases the skill requirement a bit. I'm okay with that. Let's make sure I didn't mess up the castle entrance by decreasing it too much. Let's see if this is good enough. So this is built in momentum. Try this. Okay, so I decreased it by 1. I don't even think chat noticed the difference. So if they just get like 8 or 10 frames less in the air, I think that's fine. That was still pretty free. And again, it still forces you to become grounded more often. So I think I'm okay with this. Let's see, miss boost, max duration. We'll just -1 it, and we should be good. So chat is the witness. I was able to do that pretty easily. Okay, so I guess now we just focus on Leapstone, maybe? You know what? We'll listen to Death. We skipped him enough times.
Ah, Alucard. What is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Still befriending mortals. I'll not ask you to return to our side, but I demand you cease your attack.
I will not.
You shall regret those words. We will meet again.
We will meet again, chat. So if this, then that. Yeah, I want to see if this is too extreme of a change. It might be. Because again, it doesn't check super often. So I might have to move jump to a different timer in order to get a proper fix. But I just want to see how much height this is if I just nerf it the way it is now. Hello, Chaos Mania. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we just rah on him. We don't respect his speech at all. So yeah, it feels a bit more fair. I feel like we're adding, you know, difficulty back to the game, but not in a way that feels unfair. So if you have all 3 wolf relics, it gives you more boost time. Form of Mist is just stronger in general. Power of Mist is still really good. Let's see what our normal jump height is like. Is this too nerfed? If it is, I need to go to a different timer, and that's a bigger change. Am I even nerfed? I'm not feeling it. It feels like, did I make the right change? Or do I have Leapstone? That felt like I didn't lose any height at all. Very interesting. Oh, now, oh, maybe it did cache it. Okay, I'm not able to hit the ceiling immediately. That was weird. Okay, so there's a very small jump nerf. So that should mean if I go to here, let's go to, what was it called? Called it Alchemy Lab, I think. Let's go to Alchemy Lab. Yeah, I'm not able to make this jump anymore. Good. Banned. Banned, not able to do it anymore. Even with inconsistent jump. You can take a little sneak peek if you want up there. Yeah, I think for the health of the game, I gotta ban that. Ooh, that jump is kind of awkward. So, Leapstone will put it back to vanilla values, which, again, I'm okay with. It gives more power back to Leapstone. So you could still go back to the original values. Platforming through here is a little different, since I am losing about, like, ooh, I can't make that at all. Nice. Okay, so you can make that with Leapstone, but you can't make it without Leapstone. So this movement isn't too different. I'm still able to do what I need to do. I just have to press jump a little more often. Like, it's just not one continuous jump. So let's see if we fight Gaibon again, how impacted I feel. Oh, yeah, I'm not able to chase him. That's awkward. Come on. Destroyed him, chat. Shield rod damage is real. Okay. Let's see, how hard is this jump with all of those nerfs now compiled? Oh, I messed up by holding jump and then I saved it anyway, so it's still doable. Just get good, apparently. So you saw it, chat. That was first try with the nerfs. Yeah, that's still pretty easy. Okay, so the jumping out of faceplant does allow you to correct your height a bit, which is kind of nice. So, again, more skill expression. I'm happy for that. Let's see, anything else? So we just got rid of the Alchemy Lab check. I don't think that boost we did is possible without relics. Because, again, we're getting enhanced speed, and we're not getting as much mist duration. So I think with all those factors combined, feel a little better. I could do something like this, for example, to jump cancel. Well, that's how my ceiling canceled. Let me read chat again. Then to make that jump, you just need Leapstone. For the Alchemy Lab check, yes, you need Leapstone now. I'm forcing you to take Leapstone. Or Gravity Boots. That way it's not free every time. The check we did with Gaibon, if we're playing Lycanthrope, which is what we're doing now, we're able to make it. If we're playing Relicless, I don't think it's possible anymore. Ha ha ha, indeed. And again, I put some power back into the spells and a little out of melee, because I want to encourage slightly more dynamic play. I do feel like spells are actually a little on the weak end, which makes sense because if they get too strong, then they become the only thing worth doing. But I do feel like they needed to scale a little better. Their base damage is fine. I'm not going to touch that. It's just that if you have actual, like, hard focus like a shield rod, it should be doing slightly more, I feel. Yeah, that last jump does not get a lot of height. Just mostly to correct your height, or correct your angle. So I think this is mostly fair. We got rid of 2 checks. Death skip is now doable, but it's still free, but it doesn't then also lead to the problem of you being able to boost everywhere. So we're gonna showcase the boost nerf. So if we, oh wait, did I pick up flight? I don't remember. No, I skipped it in this one. Good, good, good. Let's see how far I can boost without anything. Yeah, you can see I fell much sooner. Where had I been able to hold boost, I could have boosted the whole room. So I think that's closer to the intent. I don't want chat or people that play along to witness people just flying the whole way without any kind of flight relic. I just think that's absurd. So we removed that, gone. So you can still do that with, like, Mist and stuff like that, as well as Bat. As I said before, I think it's fair when you have those relics, but it was leading to too much linear gameplay where people were not taking damage, and they should suffer for their choices. Yeah, see this movement? I want to see chat do that. Gliding is gliding, not flying, something like that. Yeah, I was talking about this before on the race pod, but like if you hold forward and attack and then hold the opposite direction, you just immediately cancel your fall. So I was watching people kind of take the stairs like this, which is much slower, as you can see in comparison, to just be dash attacking every time. Funny enough, when you have all 3 wolf relics, the dash from the top of the stairs is actually the perfect length every time. So you don't even have to judge it at all. It will just do it automatically. So as long as I do something like this, it'll always work. Just kind of nice. This was one of the places I tested a lot when I was testing momentum, so I'm like, I know all the tricks with the little staircases. Oh, unfortunately I don't have flight here. So yeah, slightly tuned down his jump. I think to make it a bit more fair though, I need to swap out how much height he gets before you press jump. So I think that's gonna take some fine tuning in the background. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Are there any other major changes I was thinking of that would be doable on stream? Just thinking. So the goal is to remove jump jank. We added new mechanics. I saw one intended use, as if you mess up a jump, you can jump out of it. Death skip is still possible in Lycanthrope. It's no longer possible in normal runs because of how we change things around. I gotta correct, I guess, the ceiling a little bit, or when you go in and out of the death room, but I don't think that's going to take more than like a couple minutes of just like testing a coordinate, reloading, testing a coordinate, reloading. So rather than doing that, I'll just do that on my own time. We didn't really get to see the damage change, but it is a bit lower. There's not really a good way to demonstrate it other than the fact that I think I was looking at a save file with Masamune doing 128 damage times 2, and in the same file it went down to 121. So it's not like a huge damage nerf, but, you know, doing like 30 or 40 less over a few seconds, I think is fair. Again, I feel like melee damage was slightly too high, so we're going to go with a very modest nerf. I don't expect it to make too much of a gameplay difference. It should feel roughly the same at low levels. It's just that when you're fully decked out, your max damage potential is lower, which is what I wanted to curb. So other than that, is there anything else I really wanted to show off before we switch games? I don't think so. So I'm just going to take a look at my eyeball list in terms of what things are expected for the rest of the patch and determine if I feel like they're going to be ready. So we still got to remove jump jank. We just nerfed normal jump height. We did not touch the gravity jump cap speed. We reduced some wall and door collisions in a few I can't talk today. Few key rooms, which was the death room. So that works. I have to rebalance sub-weapon crits. I think that's the other thing that it's like, I just want to make sure damage is in line. I don't mind that they crit, just that them critting while they're out is very powerful on Holy Water. So Holy Water ends up being one of the best ones if you fish for the crit, just because like it lasts for so long and its damage is still decent. I think I have to nerf it for the sake of the game health. Then I rebalance faceplant boost. Goal to not allow unlimited flight prior to certain relics achieved. Slightly up max speed, maybe. I don't know if it's necessary after the change. Acceleration should be slightly less instant to reward better ground movement. I think that's actually already in place. I thought I actually didn't have that, and I realized that was just tied to the mist. As long as you don't have mist, that looked fine to me. Like, when I was coming from a dead stop, it did take a while to speed up. I'm not actually going to make a change there. More relics should boost min and hang time and to be in line with a la carte skips. Lycanthrope should be able to do death skip. Well, that one's off the list. That one I can officially say we have tested that. It's doable. And we're keeping it in a more fair way. So I think the only thing that really needs to get touched on is maybe gravity jump, max speed, which I don't think will be like a big change. I don't even know if it'll be noticeable, to be honest. And I guess jump jank. But to remove jump jank, so just to explain what I'm talking about, if we go to jump, see how sometimes I can go to the next room, sometimes I can't? That's the jump jank. There's like a little bit of a variable with how much height you get with the jump. So I want to make that a bit more consistent. And that's because of vanilla coding. So as soon as you tap jump, it's boosting you, but I don't check like every single frame. And in those like 2 frames that it doesn't check, it uses the vanilla height. So that's why you're getting a little bit of inconsistency with the jump. The goal is to just remove that altogether for a cleaner experience. The problem I feel is if I choose to remove it altogether, that could cause an issue. That's going to require some testing. So I could replace it so I check every frame, but then I also have to consider, like, what if you just walk off a platform? Like, you should be falling, and that is tied, unfortunately, into the jump height of the Axe Armor, which is kind of annoying. Well, I guess instead of using a float, I could just set his jump height to 0, now that I think about it. Yeah, maybe that's what I have to do. The problem is, like, it's going to result in delayed controls, so I think I have to move it into a frame check. That way it isn't, like, press button, pause, then you jump. Because that would make platforming feel really terrible. That's going to require more of an internal system rework. That's not something I could do on stream. That's going to take a while for me to kind of fine-tune. But is there anything else I could test? I guess the gravity jump height. That's the only thing I want. I just want to slightly improve the max speed. We're talking like fractions of a speed, just to make sure that it's more efficient. Something where it's like only 10,000. Not a big difference. Okay, so let's test with the save file that has it, and we could just observe the behavior together. I don't think I have a location that's really close to a long jump height. Yeah, because this one does... Oh, this... Yeah, I don't have gravity jump on this one. I need something that's like a real big vertical jump. But it has to be multiple floors. Like here it looks okay, because I'm just transitioning between two screens. It's more like when you're falling for like Medusa, not Medusa, for Scylla. Do I have any file that's like remotely close to that? I guess this isn't too bad. I'm gonna need to make a save at Scylla, for sure. Also, look at that MP total. The MP total of the gods, chat. I'm like, you two can walk around with 870 health in SotN. Gotta believe. Ooh, my momentum is so bad. Alright, so I don't have the relics I need. I'll have to set this one up. Ooh, that feels so slow and clunky without Wolf. What a shame. Look at him go, Chad. He's trying his best. Just do a little better. We'll make another save state called Scylla Climb. Since that it's only really noticeable in that and the Olrock's room. So we're talking about a very limited skill problem, but it is noticeable. I do feel like you don't get your proper speed because it's a little too jarring between the slowdown and that hard stop. Let us fall there and then test things, but I need to make sure I have gravity jump. Yeah, I don't have gravity jump. So we're gonna give ourselves some relics via Mayhem, and then we'll test that, and then that I think will be it for the patch, at least on stream. Next time we play it, it'll be official seed completion, or I'll just have Calvisham do it, either or. So this here, where you're doing multiple screens, is quite something. Dave's31 says cheating, something like that. Let's go ahead and make a save state here for future jumps. We're gonna call this one, I guess, Scylla Climb. Yeah, let's give ourselves some relics here, since I need to test this. I'm gonna give myself a mix of the boons. That should give... Oh, it gave me what I wanted in one try. Nice. I think that should be all I need. How many relics did I give myself? Oh, it's still processing. Holy Symbol, that should be fine. Soul the Bat, not 100% necessary. We'll do a save here, though. Resave with the new relic, and we should be good. Yes, I want to replace it. Yeah. This right here, where you kind of bop the top. Let's see if I can smooth that out a little bit. The problem is the camera just does not want to keep up. Like, when you're here, it's fine. But if you mash it really hard, you could get yourself bopping the top. I'm just gonna do this a couple times just for observation purposes. That's more a problem if you're just doing this. Yeah, because like normal rhythm looks fine, so maybe I just need to adjust the mash. Interesting. Maybe it's less of a problem as I thought. Maybe people are just doing this repeatedly. Which, to be fair, I mean, that's why we catch them at the top of the screen, is to prevent that. I was thinking what the best approach to this problem would be. Might be better if it's something like this. I don't think it'll make a big difference, but I'll just make that small change. Did not like me creating another build. Just a very small change. I could make it more gradual too, I guess. I'm gonna check one more thing. So gravity jump is fine. Oh, yeah, that's what I could do. That might look smoother. I could still introduce the issue if you mash too hard, but let's see how that feels. Did not like me making another build. Let's go ahead and close and we'll reopen. See how we feel about the jump change. It should mean that it scales the slowdown accordingly. We'll see. If not, I'll just revert the change. It's not a big deal either way. Let's go ahead and reopen the file to the point where we were testing again. Let's go into load state. Scylla climb. We're just going to observe the behavior. Again, it's only noticeable in a few rooms, but if I can smooth it out a little bit, I would be happier watching it. See how this feels. Oh, that is much harder to mash it. Yeah, yeah, see that? It's like, even with mashing, it's catching it a bit easier. So that's actually good. Mashing makes it harder to get to the top of the screen. So I'm mashing it pretty fast, and chat can see I'm not touching the top of the screen anymore. Like, I gotta really, really hammer it, which, I mean, if you do that, more power to you, I guess. But yeah, that looks a little better. Yeah, I think that looks better. I mean, you can still touch the top, but I don't think that's ever something I really want to fully resolve. If you really want to mash your hearts out and just lose like hundreds of MP, by all means, burn 200 MP to get that extra half second. Because, I mean, again, just doing that alone was almost 60 MP. Doesn't seem worth it, chat. Just saying, doesn't seem worth it. But yeah, I like that flow a little better. I guess that's on the checklist. So just one more thing down from the patch release notes. Apt. Is there anything else I really want to update in this one? The other ones might be a bit hard to implement just because it requires like a check whether or not the door is opening. So that one I don't think I'm going to commit to. I'll make saves when we go through and test the patch at some point. I'll pause briefly in like, let's say the Scylla fight or some other locations like Coliseum. But I'm not in a rush to do those. So the only thing I'm really looking for like a quick and easy fix might be the sub-weapon crits. Jump jank is going to take a while. Otherwise, I think our goals of the patch are basically achieved. So I'm feeling pretty happy with where it's going. I'm just thinking if I could do anything regarding the crit on stream, or if that'll be a surprise for next time. Oh yeah, that's gonna take a while to code. It's not difficult. It's not as hard as removing jump jank, but I think it's just gonna take too much time. I gotta put in some extra checks when we update the position of the sub weapon to toggle the crit on or off. So the crit will crit for like a quarter of a second or so instead of just like one tick instance or something like that. But at least it's not permanent. I'll put it that way. So that'll overall reduce the potential damage of the sub weapons by quite a bit. Since getting a crit with that is kind of crazy, even if it isn't like a true ×2 crit, it's still very powerful. So I think with that, that'll kind of rein in the sub-weapon damage, slightly buff the spells, nerf melee damage at the high end. Beginning melee weapon damage makes almost no difference. So we'll do a seed, I think. I don't know if I'm going to promise next week, but somewhere later in the week, we're just going to take a small break just to go through it. But I think that's about all I really wanted to show off and kind of test with what I have so far. So different movement options, some nerfs here and there, to make it more interesting competitively and also require a bit more skill on the standpoint of the racers, while also still allowing for some skill expression and correction. So if they don't get the jump height they're looking for with the face plant, they now have an out with the gravity jump option, which I think makes it a bit more fair to them, while also just not letting it be free simultaneously. So I think I found a decent middle ground for now. Well, anyway, chat, we are going to pause for now with the SotN updates. We'll hide the notes. We'll go through the formal update notes in the future. But we're at the point in the video on the VOD that I'm sure many of you are aware of, and that is saying goodbye to YouTube. So I'd just like to thank you all if you got to this point in the video in the VOD, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.